let's try this again. Okay, maybe that you get some time to go get your container. Because it's Vegas night, baby. Yes, it is. Day 4. Yeah, it's Vegas night, baby. All right. Okay. That had better effect when it worked the first time. Oh well. As you can see, I'm in yellow. It is solar plexus tonight. And we are 9 towards feeling fine, day 4. And we will get started here in a second. I'll just wait for more people to pop on. I'm so sorry that I lost you. And hopefully you're going to pop back on and find me again. Yeah, I'll give you just a few minutes because there was 7 people on. Now there's only 4, so hopefully people will pop back on. So what you have to do is kind of get out, go back into the group, find me again, and you'll find me. So this will be a self-treatment, self-directed treatment session, as well as I will actually give you a treatment. So at the end on your vagus nerve. So it's all about Vegas, 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 Vegas. Okay, hopefully a few more people will pop on because, as I said, there was 7 when we started, and then I had to go back out and start over again because I was backwards. So, as I mentioned, this is vagus nerve. Yep, vagus nerve. What is the vagus nerve? Well, it's definitely a big nerve. Yes, it is. We'll get more on that in a second. So as I've done each night, I've done a little review on what dysfunctional nervous system is all about. Because that's what this series, this 9 towards feeling fine, is all about. It's about giving you some tools and tricks and tricks and techniques for you to put into your little toolbox and hopefully start a protocol or a practice to work on a dysfunctional nervous system to get it to become regulated. So I try to pick up a different sign each night, but basically they're all saying the same thing. Some 6 signs that you are. It's still backwards? No, I don't think it's backwards now because I went out and came back in. Is that an old note? Okay, just let me know if it's still backwards because it's not backwards on my screen here. And usually if it's backwards on my screen, it's backwards, and it's not backwards on the screen. So I'm hoping it's going to be okay. It's definitely different than when I started. Anyway, okay. So 6 signs that your nervous system is dysregulated. You're going to feel very easily, get very easily upset or offended. You're often very self-destructive. You struggle to cultivate quality long-term relationships. You struggle to get good friendships. You struggle with focus. Your emotions are in a huge pendulum swing. One time you're up, the next time you're down. Maybe you're angry, maybe you're sad. It's definitely all over the place. And you often vent emotions unrelated to others. That's unrelated to others. Now, it's important that we have friends that we can, I'm going to use the word vent, that not in a bad way. Like this said that was a vent, but I would call that downloading or dumping. When you dump your emotions on people, or you need a good friend that you can vent with. Venting is different than dumping. Dumping is you're just, and you're not really ready to listen to any potential suggestions that your friend has, and you don't offer a reciprocal opportunity for them to vent, that you're just always dumping. Venting is a two-way story, a two-way process. So when you're dysregulated, you're often feeling like you're just dumping on people constantly. And you might not even recognize that, but it's definitely an issue with a dysregulated nervous system because you just feel that need to just often dumping out your emotions and your thoughts to your friends. So let's get back to the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve, let's see, where's my sheet here? The vagus nerve is basically, there we go. It's a Latin translation for the nerve that's called the wandering nerve. It's the longest nerve in the human body and plays an essential role in survival, social engagement, sensing safety, and generating joy. And when it's dysfunctional, you're not going to feel joy. You're not going to feel safe. You're not going to want to be involved with social people. And keep in mind that social interaction is a human need. We need social interaction. It's just not good for your mental health to be isolated all the time. 80 to 90% of your vagus nerve is actually conveying information from the body to the brain. Vagal nerve stimulation can make a significant difference for us. And that's what we want to do tonight, is we want to do vagal nerve stimulation. Nice. Okay. So this is what this beautiful nerve looks like. It's cranial nerve number 10, and it leaves the brain, the cranium, through the occipital mastoid suture behind your ears. You have a right vagus and you have left vagus, and it travels down and it innervates the heart, the lungs, etc., etc. And we'll get the next picture. We'll show you detail on that. And as always, I will post these pictures in the comments after our session. If you want to print them, feel free. And you might want to make up a manual for yourself so that you can kind of review it at any time. So the vagus nerve is also known as the master control switch. And you can see that it innervates the lungs, the heart, the liver, the spleen, the stomach, the pancreas, gallbladder, large intestine, small intestine, the kidneys, adrenals, etc., etc. Even the reproductive organs. All right, cranial nerve number 10. As I mentioned, make sure I'm centered, pull back a little bit. It's critical. It's a critical nerve for supplying the parasympathetic information to the visceral, to the organs of the respiratory, digestive, and urinary systems. It's important in the control of the heart rate, the bronchoconstriction, and digestive process. So in other words, your ability for your lungs to expand, retract, and your ability to digest food properly. And when your vagus nerve is dysfunctional, you can have constipation and or diarrhea, even if you don't have a food intolerance. So this can cause those issues if this nerve is not functioning properly. All right? And as you remember, I don't think I have a review on that. No. If I just, oh yes, I will talk about it here. So the parasympathetic system is your rest and digest system of your autonomic nervous system. Okay? So you have two systems in that autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is just like the name. It's automated. It's automatic in your body. You don't have to think about it. But it has two parts. It has the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, freeze. It's the nervous system that you activate when you are in survival mode, when you need to do something very quick and you're very excited about something, not sometimes in a good way and sometimes in a not good way. So either way will activate your sympathetic. So being in sympathetic is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not healthy when you're in there all the time. Now the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, that includes the vagus nerve. That's what makes up the sympathetic nervous system. Last night we did sympathetic nervous system, and I treated your 5 ganglion, T1 to T5, and balanced each of those ganglion to balance your sympathetic nervous system to calm it down. And then we did a little bit on vagus nerve, but tonight a lot more. So your parasympathetic is your rest and digest. It allows you to sleep at night when it's working properly. It allows you to digest your food properly. It allows all of those things that we mentioned in keeping your health at its optimal. Now, there are some signs that you have a dysfunctional vagus nerve. And a lot of these are the same as a dysfunctional nervous system. But there's a few extras here that you may have experienced at some point in time in your life. Of course, when your vagus nerve is dysfunctional, you're going to have anxiety. You might be easily startled, or you might have what's called hypervigilance, when you feel like you're on guard all the time. You might feel a little bit lightheaded. You might actually have some dizziness. Obviously, poor sleep disorders. And as I mentioned last night, you get a surge of cortisol between 3 and 4 o'clock. So if you're getting woken up at that time, you're probably getting a surge of cortisol. You might feel your heart rate start to increase and feel very strong. That's not necessarily a good thing. We don't want that. As I said, heart rate and blood pressure changes with a dysfunctional vagus nerve. You might have difficulty swallowing. You might have abdominal pain and bloating. You might lose your gag reflex. Low heart rate variability, and we'll talk about that in a second. You might have nausea or vomiting. You might be constipated and or diarrhea. You have a poor appetite, or you feel full very quickly. You might even have hoarseness or wheezing or loss of your voice. So you might not have all of these, but if you have 1 or 2 of them, you probably have a dysfunctional vagus nerve. All right, anybody out there have any of those? I do. So what's it like when your vagus nerve is healthy? What are we trying to strive for? When the vagus nerve is activated or healthy or normalized, the heart rate slows, inflammatory responses are turned off and reduced, hormonal responses become normalized, and hormonal responses of safety are released into the bloodstream. In other words, you're not getting that surge of cortisol when you have a hormonal response of fear or unsafe feeling. Very good. So when that vagus nerve is activated and in its right tonus, you're going to feel very balanced and even keeled. So some things that when you have healing power of the vagus nerve, it can help ADHD, hyperactivity, antisocial behavior, anxiety. It can even help with autism, bipolar disorder. Now, obviously, these are conditions that need more than just vagus nerve help. But again, I'm not expecting that these 9 towards feeling fine is going to replace your therapist. Absolutely not. This is to work in conjunction with any therapist, psychiatrist, or psychologist that you work with now. All right, so we also can help with depression, panic attacks, phobias, trauma, and PTSD. So these are things that have been proven with research that have been helpful by working with the vagus nerve, that you can help those conditions. So here are some ways to return to a parasympathetic state. We're going to try many of these tonight, and we'll try many of them throughout the 9 towards feeling fine. We've already tried some of them. So it's movement, static dancing, and shaking. That's coming up on our last night. Breath work, deep breathing. We did that our first night. Cold exposure. Why do you think I got you to get the little pan of water? Massage, or self or with other people, with a therapist. So we're going to do a little bit of self-massage tonight with our vagus nerve. Practicing consciousness, meditation, and create very solid boundaries. Make sure that people aren't walking all over you, and you're not getting to that point that you think, well, I don't really want to do that, but I feel like I should do that because she really wants me to do it. Those are not your boundaries. Set your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Don't forget that. All righty. How to access the vagus nerve, healing the vagus nerve. Again, cold exposure, singing, chanting, gargling, meditation, movement, walking, heavy lifting, deep, slow belly breath, social connection, laughing, bonding, or sharing. Don't ever dispel the power of a good laugh. Yes, sirree. A good laugh, yes. So, are you ready to do a little bit of an assessment? Yeah, let's see. And this is not just for the vagus nerve. This can be for your nervous system. So I did post this chart, and hopefully you had a chance to print it. If you didn't, you can get yourself a piece of paper, and you can just write down these 10 categories. All right? So I'll give you just a second to do that. So the first category, number 1, is movement. Number 2 is nutrition. 3 is finances. 4 is work and or activities if you're retired. Maybe you're not working outside the home, but maybe you're doing some activities. 5 is sleep. 6 is trauma. 7 is lifestyle. 8 is relationships. 9 is energy. And 10 is family. So if you don't have a printer, you can just write those down on a piece of loose leaf or whatever, or I'll have some copies here at the clinic that you can pick up. All right, so what you want to do is, how full is your stress tank? Now, this is strictly your your perception of this. Strictly your perception. I think I'm getting my ice. Yes, here he comes. Thank you. You can just bring that in. Thank you. So, this is strictly your perception of this. The number doesn't mean anything. It's just your perception. And of course, ideally, you'd like to see those numbers come down. All right. So the first one is movement. So how stressed are you in order to get your daily movement in, or your weekly movement, or your every couple days movement in? Are you at a full frenzy that you're not getting it? Give yourself a 10. Are you kind of mediocre? Like right now it's a little stressful because it's icy and I don't really want to get outside and slip on the ice. Or no problem, I'm out every day, no matter what, I'm going to classes, I'm doing whatever. Then give yourself a number between 0 and 10. So it's not just 0, 5, or 10. You might be a 3, you might be a 7, you might be an 8, whatever. Let's move on to nutrition. How stressful is it for you to get your good nutrition? I don't need to tell you about good nutrition. Everybody knows what nutritional habits you need for good health. So how stressful is it for you to get that good nutrition today? You just today. What's today like? Is it a 10? Are you at a frenzy? Or no, that's not a problem for me. Give yourself a number between 0 and 10. 10 being full out stressed, 0 meaning no stress at all. Now let's go down to finances. How stressful are your finances today or this week? The top of the chart, I've given you columns for weekly. You don't have to do it daily, but maybe every week or every couple of weeks, check in to see if these numbers are going down, which would be a good thing, right? So how stressful are your finances right now? Number 4, how stressful is your work and or your activities? You really love your work, or you don't like your work at all, or the activities that you're involved in that you do outside the home, are you finding them very, very helpful, or is it stressful to attend those, or you're just not getting out to those things? Make that, give yourself a number for that right now. How's your sleep? Is it very stressful? Are you not getting a restful sleep? Then you give yourself somewhere between 8, 9, and 10. If it's not too bad, then you're going to get a mid number because it's quite mild. Or if you sleep really well, give yourself a 0. Going down to trauma. Now you're thinking, I don't have any trauma. People think that trauma is necessarily car accidents and people who've been to war or people that... You don't have to have those big T traumas. You can have a lot of small T traumas. It's still trauma. Because remember, this is your perception. So what's your perception? Don't think of anybody else's judgment. It's just your perception of the trauma that you've been through. How does it feel today? Is it stressful? Give yourself an 8, 9, or 10. If it's not too bad today, give yourself something in the mild range. If it's no stress at all, give yourself a 0. Let's go down to lifestyle, kind of putting everything together. How does it feel on your everyday, your daily activities? What things do you? How stressful it is for you to keep yourself going in your life, in your lifestyle? Give yourself a number for that. Number 8, relationships. How stressful are your relationships? And doesn't necessarily mean a spouse. It could be friendships. It could be relationships with parents or siblings or children. Whatever relationships come to mind, make sure that you give that a number now. Are they stressful right now? I'm a little stressed right now because my son and daughter-in-law are in El Salvador. We did just FaceTime them, and they're having a fabulous time. Oh my gosh, he sent me some great surf videos. So he's a happy camper. So that brought my stress way down. Because I was a little concerned. El Salvador, don't know that country very well. Anyway, they're doing great. So my stress for relationships has really reduced right now. Energy, how's your energy? And how stressful is it to keep that energy up and keep going to do what you need to do throughout your day? And finally, your family. I know you might have said that with relationships, but maybe just look at the family in general and give yourself a number there. All right? So each week you can do those numbers, and hopefully you're going to see those going down. So that's one way that you can assess your vagus nerve as well as your nervous system, whether it's dysfunctional or functional. All right, mentioned this in one of our things, heart rate variability. What the heck is that? Well, it's different than heart rate, completely different. It's the time between those heartbeats. If you have like the top one, you see 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. That's not a very healthy heart rate variability because the intervals are exactly the same between the beats. You need variation. Thus it's called heart rate variability. So the bottom one, 0.93, 0.98, 1.2, 1.3, and you see that the number is getting larger, that's actually a healthy HRV. So when you have variation between the beats, and a higher number is good. Now, how do you know if your number is good? You only compare to yourself. So how do I get this? In a second, I'll give you a really cheap and easy and free way to do it. So low heart rate variability is fight or flight, easily exhausted. You don't adapt to things very well. You have decreased cognition. A high heart rate variability is you can rest and digest well, you have improved performance, you have high adaptability, and you have improved cognition. So it sounds, again, very much like our dysfunction for our nervous system or dysfunctional vagus nerve. Yes, it does. So how do I measure heart rate variability? If you have one of those fancy Apple watches like my husband does, it just goes toot, 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 and there it is. Now, for those of us that don't have those expensive watches, I can give you a free app. So you can download this from your app store. It's called Visible. It's called Visible. It is free, and there's no like free period and then you have to pay. No, it's free. It was designed for long COVID, but it's going to measure your heart rate variability. So even if you don't have long COVID, don't panic. You're not going to be touted as long COVID. It is something you can find on your app store. And what they're going to get you to do is to set a baseline for yourself. You put your finger on your camera, and it's going to measure your heart rate variability. You need to do that 4 times. You need to do that while you're still in bed, not when you get up and you brush your teeth and you moved around. Do it, 4 mornings in a row. Now you've got your baseline, and then it'll prompt you to do it. You don't do it every day, but you can do it, every couple of days, and see if your heart rate variability, the number is going up. And when I did mine this morning, my number was a little low. So it gave me this caution. Heart rate variability is a little low. Be kind to yourself. Take it easy today. Those kind of things. So it's a really neat little app, and it's free. You can get that just from your app store. Heart rate variability. Very cool thing to measure to see if your stress response or your parasympathetic, your balance between your para and your sympathetic nervous system is improving. Alrighty, the other one, and you probably have seen this one before, is you're going to put your hand under your nose. You're going to breathe in and exhale through your nose. Now do that 2 more times. And 1 more time. Notice what nostril the air is coming out. Maybe you have to do it 1 more time. If it's predominantly coming out of the left, good for you. You're in parasympathetic. Nice. If it's coming out of both, like mine is tonight, I'm kind of surprised because I was practicing this a little earlier today and I was definitely in sympathetic. So sometime between when I was practicing and when I actually set up tonight, I have balanced my nervous system. Your nervous system is always changing. Yes, it is. So if it's predominantly coming out of the right side, then you're predominantly in sympathetic nervous system, which is not the best. And if it's coming out of both, you're balanced, which is great. All right, let's do some self-healing for our vagus nerve. Alrighty? So I have done a video on this, and it's on YouTube, and it's in our group. So this might be a review for some people. Okay, I'm going to stand up so you can see. Now, you're going to take your right hand. I'm going to use my real right hand, put it on your left side. You're going to pull your body that way. You're going to take your left hand, put it on the side of your head, and tip. So pull and pull so that you feel a stretch down this side here, this right side. Okay? Now with your eyes, look up to the right. So rather than watching me, maybe it's better to listen because I am doing my actual real right hand and my real left hand. Right hand on your left side, pull over, left hand on your head, tip it over, eyes look right. Now you're stretching or activating the right vagus nerve, and you're going to hold this for a couple breaths. Ideally, till you take a spontaneous breath. So I'm going to look to the right, and I'm going to wait. And there's my spontaneous breath. Excellent. If you're never getting a spontaneous breath, you might be thinking about too much stuff. Try to just calm yourself down and allow yourself to do the exercise. Okay, put your left hand on your right side, pull over, take your right hand on the side of your head, tip it over, eyes look left. Look up to the left corner. So pull, pull, and tip. Stretching your left vagus. Not really stretching. I don't like that because it's not really stretching the nerve. You're normalizing it. You're toning it. Now wait till you get that spontaneous breath or a couple deep breaths. There's my spontaneous breath. Whew, nice. There you go. Okay. Now, next one. We're going to do a figure 8. Now, you're going to do a figure 8. I'll hold this up so that you have something to look at. And you're going to, I'll just bring your head down. So you're going to do a figure 8 with your head and your eyes. Your head and your eyes. Make sure you have the eyes involved. And you're going to do that until you take a spontaneous breath. There, I just did like 3 reps and I've got my spontaneous breath. So once you've done that, your vagus nerve has been activated. That spontaneous breath really works. Shows you that you've done it. Alrighty? Next one. You're going to take your hands behind your ears. You'll take your fingers like this, like Spock. Some fingers in front and some fingers behind. And you're going to just circle clockwise. So 2 fingers, couple fingers are behind your ears, couple fingers are in front of your ears, making sure you're on that mastoid process, the bone behind your ear. Because remember what I said, that the vagus nerve exits the occipital mastoid suture, right there behind the ears. So just circle until you get that spontaneous breath. Whew, that was quick. And now reverse the circle. Really get in there. So this is the self-massage that helps tone or normalize. There's my spontaneous breath. I had to get the words out before I had to take that breath. And if you're not sure if you're getting a spontaneous breath or not, just at least 2 to 3 breaths, okay? Now, this is, there's one that I showed you, this picture here. This is one I'm going to actually do. This one right here, this middle one. I'm actually going to do that on you guys as a self-treatment, so, or as a treatment, a group treatment. So we'll hold off on that one. All right, the next 2, I'm going to get you to lie down. We'll first lie down on our bellies, and you'll be prone, okay? So let's just move that out of the way. So we're going to lie on your belly. Take this down. And you're going to bring yourself up into a back extension. Only just come up to the elbows. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I'm going to have to hang my feet over the edge. So you come up like so. You're in back extension just on my elbows. Now I turn my head to the right. Eyes look up to the right. And there's the spontaneous breath. These don't take long. If you get into them and quiet your mind, boom, it's there for you. So if you don't get the spontaneous breath, just wait a few, 2 or 3 breaths. Let's turn to the left. Eyes look left. Turn your head to the left, and then eyes look up to the left. And there's the spontaneous breath. Whew. Excellent. Let's roll over on our backs. I got to get off because I got my glasses there. I do not want to lay on my glasses. There we go. So we're going to lie on our back with your knees bent. Okay, am I going to be in camera here or out of camera? Anyway, you see the picture. I'll come down a bit. Now, put your hands behind your head. All right? Now, push your head into your hands. Turn your head to the right. Eyes look up to the right. Stay there till you get that spontaneous breath like I just did. If you don't, you breathe at least 2 to 3 breaths. Or if you want to hold it there for at least 20 seconds, that's about time for 3 good deep breaths or a spontaneous breath. It doesn't matter, as long as you give it a good effort. Now bring your head center and just hold a few seconds. Turn your head to the left. Eyes look up to the left and hold it there until you get that spontaneous breath or a couple deep breaths. There you go. And bring your head back to the center, bring your hands down, and bring yourself up to a seated position. Good. You might be a little dizzy, and that's normal. Because normally, you do like 1 or 2 of these. I think we're on number 4 right now, so that's a lot of vagus nerve activation. Okay. Now, we are going to take our little container of water. Now, if you have long hair, you might want to put a headband on. Otherwise, you're going to get drippies in the water. All right, so just get your hair out of the way. You're going to take your container of water. All right. And the container has to be big enough to make sure it's all your face is in there. Also, you want to be able to go deep enough to about here, at least here. So this is my version of a cold plunge. And you know what? It gives you a lot of the same benefits. Now this water should be uncomfortably cold, not shockingly cold, but uncomfortably cold. You can build up to cold or colder. Now my ice is melted, so I'm going to add a little more ice. And your ice should not be stuck together. Otherwise it's going to be tough to get your face down through the ice. All right. Okay. Now, we do this for 30 seconds. You're not going to have your face in the water for 30 seconds. You can submerge your face. Now, you guys that don't like the water, this may not be your thing. All right? I'm very comfortable in water. A lot of times when people put their face in the water, they'll like that and take a breath. So if you might want to use nose plugs, or you can plug your nose. Or when you put your face in, start exhaling through your nose. If you think you might do that. If you think you're going to be fine, don't worry about it. Have your towel handy. You want to do this for 30 seconds, but as I said, you don't have to hold your face in the water for 30 seconds. What you're going to do is put your face in the water up to about here. You're going to count to 10, and then you're going to slowly lift up, and you can just wipe the water off your face. Have your towel handy so you're not going to drip all over yourself. And then we're going to do that 3 times to make it 30 seconds. Are we good to go? Are you right? Let's do it. Let's do it. And by the way, the research that I've been doing on this, it's amazing for vagus nerve, but it's also great for those who have a lot of neck tension. Because you know what? That vagus nerve comes down through the neck, and much of our tension, and I know because when I'm stressed, I'll have a lot of neck tension. You guys that work at offices, that it's tough and your stressful day, oh God, my neck. Yeah. It's vagus nerve, baby. All right, here we go. I did this earlier. It was really fun, actually. It feels good. Okay, here we go. Face is in. Count to 10 on your own. Come up. My hair's getting in the way. Take a breath, and let's go again. Ready for one more? Here we go. Woo! And you can take your towel and you can wipe yourself off. Woo! That is refreshing. That feels amazing. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a rush down my neck. Because guess what's toned? Guess what just got activated? Our vagus nerve! Yes! I got wet hair. Alrighty. So that's a tool you can put in your tool belt. You don't, unless you want to do those cold plunges, but not me. That's enough for me. One thing that I do, and I have shared this with you, at the end of my shower, I always turn the water down. Not freezing cold, I have built up to colder. And that I'll talk a lot about when we do lymphatics in a few nights. Alrighty, so that is cold water therapy for your vagus nerve. If you find you just can't submerge your face, you could splash cold water on your face. You could take a very cold face cloth and lay it on your face. I guess I should have given you those options before I told you to put your face in the water. Never thought of that. Should have given you the modifications, so sorry. So those are things you can try if that's just not your thing. But I actually love the submersion. I just find it it just feels amazing. And I had some neck tension in my neck, and it's totally gone now. When I came out of that, after that third one, I could just feel a rush coming down. It just feels wonderful. So cold water therapy is another thing that you could add to your vagus nerve toolbox. Glasses. All righty. Just to finish off here, hope you can read this. Literally, right this second, there are over 500 million nerves in your intestines sending feedback to your brain through the vagus nerve. That's 5 times more nerves than you'll find in your spinal cord. That's a lot of information. Yes, it is. So what happens in Vegas stays in your vagus. Your vagus nerve, it stores a lot of stuff. It stores every physical, every emotional, every mental trauma that you've had in your life. It's stored in that vagus nerve. That's why this is important. That's why we have to take charge. We have to do it by ourselves. Yes, you can get help with therapists, but truly what you do on a regular basis, 24/7, in between your therapist visits, is so important. Take responsibility for that vagus nerve. Add it to your tool belt, your protocol, your practice that you do on a regular basis on the course of most days to regulate your dysfunctional nervous system. Because we got to get that regulated, right? Yeah. Alrighty. So interesting enough, this was for February 19th. Today, I always like to finish off with a nice little saying. The universe is saying to you today, so those of you that join me today, this is why you were meant to come and hear this talk tonight. Nurture your inner peace throughout the day. Admit life's hustle. Find moments to pause, breathe, and reconnect with your center. This peace is your sanctuary, a place of calm and clarity that helps you navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. So there you go. Yeah, appropriate for February 19th. Vegas, baby. Yes, sirree. Add it to your practice. It's another tool in your tool belt. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow night, same time, 6 o'clock for the Fab 5. Fab 5 is tomorrow night. Bye-bye. Take care.